start? Shall I kick us off?
Yep.
Thumbs up from everyone. Great. Okay, cool. Oh, and I've got control. Okay, hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining, everyone. Apologies for the bit of technical issues at the start. We've been navigating the joys of Teams webinars for the first time, and co-presenting and all of that. So thanks for bearing with us. But yes, thank you for joining, and welcome to this third in our series of Highland Community Waste Partnership legacy webinars. My name is Georgina. I'm the partnership coordinator. So I've had the pleasure and the privilege of coordinating the Highland Community Waste Partnership for the past 3 years. In this time, we have worked together to reduce waste and promote more sustainable consumption in the Highlands. And we've learned a lot about how to deliver waste reduction and also how to work together in order to do this. So as the project is coming to the end of our funding at the end of the month, at the end of March, we really wanted to make sure that everything that we've learned is shared with others, anyone else working in this space, and anyone else really who is interested, so that other people can build on our work as part of the legacy of the project. In addition to these webinars, which are recorded, I should say, and will be available after today on our legacy website, we're also pulling together a legacy report, which will feature a number of case studies about all the work that we're covering in these webinars as well. And all of this, along with any resources that we've produced, as well as signposts to ongoing work, will be available on our legacy website. Both the report and the website should be ready by the summer of 2025. So keep an eye out for those. So just to kick us off, I'm going to give a very, very brief introduction and background to the partnership, just to put things into context. And then I'll hand over to the team, and you'll hear directly from the delivery officers about the work that they've done in their respective areas. So the Highland Community Waste Partnership is a project that was funded for 3 years by the National Lottery Climate Action Fund, and coordinated by Keep Scotland Beautiful, which is where I work, and Joanne is on my team as well. The project brought together 8 community groups from across the Scottish Highlands to work on reducing waste and promoting more sustainable consumption. This project kind of came about through a growing awareness of the relationship between waste and climate change, and the fact that if we are going to address the climate emergency and also other environmental issues that we're faced with, we really need to change the way that we consume and rethink our relationship with resources and how we use them. So all of the partner organizations had worked in this space previously in one way or another, and the idea with the partnership was that by bringing them together, we could join forces, share ideas, share learning, achieve a bigger impact than we would be able to individually, and also achieve a wider reach. So, we were aiming to sort of create this movement of sustainable consumption across the Scottish Highlands. So as you can see on that little map there, the partners cover a wide geographical spread, sort of from Fort William to Thurso, from Skye across to the Black Isle. And so that we could cover that whole Highland region. In terms of the work that we did, we focused on 3 main areas of waste. So the first was preventing food waste and promoting composting. The second was promoting sharing and repairing instead of buying things new and throwing them away. And the third was looking at reducing the amount of single-use items and packaging that we use and throw away again. So today's webinar is focused on the sharing and repairing side of things. And just to give a little bit of an overview of what we delivered in this strand. So first of all, a big part of the work that we did was just delivering events and workshops around the Highlands in local communities to give people the opportunity to try new things, learn new skills, and generally do things differently. So on the sharing and repairing front, just a few stats to rattle through there, but we've delivered over the past 3 years 137 repair workshops to nearly 2,000 people and diverting nearly 900 items from landfill. We delivered 171 upcycling workshops to 990 people, diverting 508 items from landfill. And we also delivered 63 swish and swap events to over 1,600 people and diverting nearly 2,000 items from landfill. I should say, especially these, the impact stats around waste are approximate. That's always, it's a little bit of a difficult thing to measure. So it's likely the impact is more, but that's sort of what we've managed to capture. And yeah, the team will talk in more detail about these in today's webinar. And in addition to these events and workshops, we also did some work to just provide new services in the community around sharing and repairing. So we set up repair cafes, we set up sharing libraries, and we also created a Highland Repair Directory and a Highland Repair Cafe network. So I'll leave it at that, very brief. Hopefully that sets the scene. This is today's agenda, which will have been in the webinar event page as well, so I won't dwell on it. But this is what we're covering today, and I will hand over to Katrina first to tell us about the ReLove Clothing Fair model. Katrina, over to you.
Thanks, Georgina. So, hi everyone, I'm Katrina from Lochbroom and Ullapool Community Trust. So myself and a colleague from Ullapool Unpacked CIC started the ReLove Clothing Fair back in June 2023. Before starting the clothing fair, we had tried a clothes swap event, and we did get a few people coming along, but it wasn't particularly well attended, and we also found that people were reluctant to part with sort of higher value, good quality items because they weren't really sure what they were going to find when they turned up. So we saw that there was a need to try something different. And obviously the rise of like selling clothes online through platforms like Vinted, that's become really popular. But in Ullapool, it's changed now, but for a while the only access to a post office was on a Monday morning, and that made it really difficult for people to try and sell things online. And there's also sort of the carbon footprint of posting and all the packaging and things involved as well. So we saw that there was a need to have a different type of event. We wanted to create a platform for buying and selling secondhand clothing. We also wanted it to be a social event. So there aren't loads of events in Ullapool that it's just an opportunity for people to come together and socialise. And we also wanted it to have like a sustainability focus as well. So something that maybe you wouldn't need to be interested in sort of the climate and sustainability to attend, but while you were there, it might start conversations. So what we decided is sort of, we've now run 7 clothing fairs, and it's definitely been a lot of trial and error. There were a lot of errors at the beginning, and we've sort of come up with a good system now that seems to work. And because we've done so many now, and people like know how it works and they've just got used to it. So it might seem like quite a lot of steps, but actually everyone's on board, and yeah, for now it seems to work. So what we get people to do is we have a online Google form, and people fill that in with all their details. They also add all the items that they'd like to sell. So we've set a maximum number of 15, and then their bank details as well. So we receive all that information electronically. We then give people the opportunity to collect tags. Some people make or put on their own, but we have people we allow people to pick up tags from 2 different shops in the village. They pick them up and then they label all their own items. In the beginning, we said to people that they could just drop off their clothes and we would label them for them, which was a huge mistake. We didn't really expect to get as many items as we did, and the fair had started and we still had sort of about 10 volunteers all sitting and labeling. So that was definitely not the way to go. We also in the beginning made our own labels, which we realized that it's definitely worth just buying boxes of labels. So there were, yeah, a few mistakes that we made. So yeah, people label their own items. We then have 2 drop-off times. People can come and drop off their clothes, and we ask them if they've got a chance, they can hang them up as well, and everything's organised by type. So sort of like shoes and dresses and tops and things like that. We then have some volunteers that help us set up the hall to sort of look like a sort of boutique, we sort of call it. It's a bit less like a car boot sale or a jumble sale, and we try and make it look really nice. And then, yeah, we have the clothing fair. So at the moment, we try and do it over 2 days. We did start with 1 day, but for the amount of work that goes into setting it up, it made sense to leave it up and have it running over the 2 days. And it just meant that more people could attend. So then it's set up like a shop, people can buy items, and then with the tags, each seller has a seller number. And that means that when an item is sold, we can record which seller that money goes to. And at the end of the fair, we total it all up, and we take a 10% cut, which it doesn't cover the cost, but it goes towards the running costs of it. And then the rest of the money is transferred back to the individual sellers. So we found that it's been a really good model to encourage people, like I said before, who maybe aren't interested in sustainability. That's not sort of they're a big concern for them, but they'd like to make a little bit of money. And I think at the moment, with sort of cost of living and everything, that's really important, that we're not just expecting people to donate clothes for free and not get anything back if that's not what they're able to do. So yeah, it's really it's worked really well to bring in a diverse audience and people who wouldn't often engage with some of our other events. So like I said, we've done 7 fairs now, and in total, we've saved just over 1,000, so 1,091 items from landfill. We've had an average of 60 sellers per event. I think our biggest event so far, we had about 90 sellers in total. And over the 7 fairs, we've done £12,199 worth, which, minus the 10% that we take, all that money is going back into the community, rather than being spent either online or with sort of yeah, big chains and things like that, which is really, really good. And as well as the actual clothing fair, we've tried to work with other groups. So we always have like teas and coffees and baking, often do a soup lunch as well. So we've worked with other groups, and they've done that side of things and then raise some money for their own organisations or groups. We've also had different workshops. So the most recent one that we just did last weekend, we had a mending workshop, a darning workshop, and also a kids sock puppet making workshop. And it just helps to bring in different people, and it means that there's a really nice sort of buzz in the hall. There's lots of activity going on. Yeah, so that is a summary of the clothing fairs, and I will pass over to Heather.
Thank you, Katrina. So, hi, my name's Heather. I'm from the Lairg District Learning Centre in Sutherland. The centre here was established in 2001 to meet a local demand for learning opportunities in the area. In recent years, we've tailored many of our classes to incorporate the climate action side of things. So the Highland Waste Partnership for us was a natural progression in order for us to develop and deliver further activities across on a broader scale around the area. Sorry, next slide. So indirect learning in our local community, we found that indirect learning seems to have a better way of getting into people. Discussing climate change directly tends to have a bit more of a resistance attached to it. So we try to do it in an indirect class format where we subtly introduce elements of climate action as we are going through workshops. The indirect classes are usually creative. Not only do they teach new skills, but also they inspire attendees to think differently about what they're throwing away and why. And this tends to open up a conversation that tends to be more exciting and enjoyable for people and relatable. So during our time, we found that money is becoming tighter for families in the area and the whole of the UK. So there seems to be more of a need for interest and to repair items instead of buying new, which sort of harks back to what Katrina has just said. So early on through the Waste Partnership, we made up the Makers Space. This is a weekly gathering where people come together to knit, crochet, sew, paint, start on a new idea, or something like that with the support of other people in the group. Being in a rural area, social isolation is a factor for many people here. So we wanted to create a warm space for them to come, somewhere with laughter, conversation, but also still learning. Many of our attendees brought along with them their upcycling or repair projects, and there is usually a tutor on hand that will provide them with guidance and support. It's been a big success for us to have this, and we're very lucky to have secured some more funding for it to continue going on ahead. In terms of waste, over the past 3 years, we've managed to divert about 2,000 kilograms of waste from landfill through all of our activities here. A large portion of that is through garden and composting workshops. But for the share and repair element that we're looking at today, textile waste, we've managed to divert 56 kilograms. This doesn't necessarily calculate what we've done through our swishing activities, because a lot of that wasn't calculated. So there may be more, but this is mainly through all of our sewing workshops and thrift flip events. So we would take in old clothing, bedding, and make something new out of the fabric and something interesting. So 700 kilograms was wood waste. We managed to divert that through our activities here, and we're very lucky to have a local sawmill on board that supply us with their offcuts on a regular basis. So this helps us to continue this work, and we should be continuing forward with that as well. About 34 kilograms is general crafting waste. We started pottery classes here where we've used lots of reclaimed clay and glazes, and that's been extremely popular. So a big portion of that is from this. And the rest of it's from general plastics, jars and cards that we've been doing with recycling elements. So getting children in and doing decoupage and things like that, just sort of a bit more interesting activities in order for them to reuse stuff instead of throwing away. What we found worked. Being one of 8 has been a really positive experience for us. Since being located in quite a rural area here, it's quite hard to do this sort of project normally on a larger scale. So it's been really good and added credibility for us. For the partnership, I mean, they've been a valuable sounding board here, and through some trial and error, we've been able to identify what approaches work best for us as individual organisations and as partners as a whole. We've had a bit of success duplicating the Swish model that was based on the Ullapool's ReLove fairs, which Katrina has obviously just spoken about. And last year we took on the Climate Challenge Book Club, which was created by Velocity Café, one of the other partners. Their experiences were really helpful, and the insights that they gave us on which books to use were very provocative. So it made really good climate conversation. So I think that was really successful for us. The challenges we faced, to be fair, at the beginning, it was quite difficult. Communication methods have been quite tricky too, but we've managed to work around all that sort of thing. The project duration, I would say, could do with a bit of adjustment. Maybe it would be good to have a longer project for future. Would be beneficial for future projects. It's quite challenging to meaningfully change people's long-standing habits over a short time frame. So I think it would be beneficial in the future. The legacy of the partnership for us is really to continue what we've been doing here and the lessons that we've learned through the project. We feel that we're unlikely to go back to buying in materials after being part of something like this. So we'll be looking for more funding in the sector, which will be really good. Luckily, the makerspace will continue for us, and we've also got a community garden outside, the learning centre, and we're helping recondition a local Lairg polytunnel as well. So that's been really useful for us. We've retained a page on our website which has information about the partnership and what we've achieved through it. It also contains links on how to make your own gift bags, beeswax wraps, bird boxes, compost. There's also how to make compost bays from pallets, and as well as links to the Highland Repair directory. We hope in future that we will be able to continue this kind of work, as we think it's incredibly important and it's fundamental for everybody. Thank you very much. Next will be Oksana from Thurso Community Development Trust. I'll just pass that to you.
Thank you, Heather. Hello, everybody. I'm Oksana, and I represent Thurso Community Development Trust. And today I will tell you about one of the things that we have on our Caithness Asset Bank, so one of the sharing libraries. So Party Kit is something that is one of the different ways to share items, but also it tackles the other strand that we of our activities that we perform, and it is fighting and reducing single-use items. So in January 2023, we became the member of Party Kit Network. Party Kit Network was founded in 2019, first in the UK, then it spread over Australia, and now it's a worldwide movement with over 500 members worldwide. And to date, with the joint effort of all the members, there was over 1 million single-use items prevented from landfill. So what is the Party Kit? It's basically any tableware and partyware that you can hire out to members of your community. And we, to date, saved 1,132 single-use items from landfill by hiring our Party Kit to members of our community. So what Party Kit network does to their members. First of all, membership is free, and it opens to you great access to wonderful database telling you all sorts of things like color palettes that would work maybe best for the Party Kits, what can go on, logistics and things like this. So we wanted to be inclusive on the one hand so that everyone could afford using the Party Kits. On the other hand, you probably know that it's really not easy to persuade people using something if it's free of charge, because they don't feel like it's good enough. So we decided to go for several options, and we have a simpler option, which is free to hire, and then more nicer, more expensive looking option that is hired for a fee. Also, we have add-ons that you can add to your basic Party Kit, as in say cake stands, tablecloths, jugs, and so on. Also, because we live on a busy tourist route, we hope that people who go on camper van tours and something like this would also benefit from using the Party Kit. And that's why we offer the free dishwashing for situations like that, when maybe washing the Party Kit would be not as easy for our customers. So who are our main customers? It's the people who have their birthdays or garden parties, something like this. It's also corporate meetings, because it's easy to use a lot of tableware from us. Surprisingly, it became very popular with the 16 and 18-year-old birthday parties. Teenagers are not particularly the most famous category for being sustainable, but somehow we were fortunate that our Party Kit became popular with them, and by word of mouth they used it quite a bit with us. So it was great to become a part of this wonderful initiative, and we know that once we started this, there were other members of Highland Community Waste Partnership that initiated their own Party Kits as well. So thank you very much for this, and I am passing over to Laura Donnelly from Transition Black Isle.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much, Oksana, for passing over. It was really interesting to hear. So I'm Laura from Transition Black Isle, part of the Highland Community Waste Partnership, and I'm going to tell you a wee bit about our journey in developing the Black Isle Library of Things. So just a bit of a background. So sharing items is a vital part of the circular economy. By saving from buying new and making use of the things that we have better, which would not otherwise be used often throughout their lifetimes. Sharing resources with others in our community not only saves our residents and community groups money, it also reduces our environmental and carbon footprint by saving from having to buy new or use disposable items each time. Here's one you've heard before. The average drill is used for just about 30 minutes in its lifetime. Yes, many of us possess our own drill. What a waste. But what if we could share our resources? So Transition Black Isle and Highland Community Waste Partnership explored what this would look like and collaborated with other community groups to develop a Black Isle Library of Things. Informal sharing was already happening between community groups in the area, but there was no process in place to track these assets, which meant they were not being used to their full potential. So we worked on gaining public opinion and support through holding discussions with the community at community events and with other Black Isle community groups to explore the idea. We searched for resources to support us on our journey, and we worked closely with Circular Community Scotland Share and Repair Network to learn from other sharing libraries in Scotland. We used their sharing library setup guide to ensure that we had all the information required to take the initiative forward. And we met with MyTurn, the lending library software, to explore the capabilities and its suitability for the Black Isle Library of Things. We gained a demo version as well so that we could explore the software and its capabilities with the community. Having built up resources to support the initiative and those involved, we gained insights from the community at community meetings, local events, and at the monthly Black Isle Repair Café. We consulted the community through publicity and online channels, gathering information through an online form, and we held meetings with interested individuals to explore the idea in more depth, listen and answer to any questions attendees had, and also received responses and interest from representatives from many organisations. Those organisations included Transition Black Isle themselves, Caboca Community Trust, Black Isle Men's Shed, the Black Isle Repair Café, Cromarty Community Trust, Black Isle Bicycles and the Muir Hub. The feedback that we gained provided great insights to shape the initiative going forward. There was local considerations such as the distance to the library or the libraries was noted as a potential barrier to accessing items. We had gained a great amount of support for the idea. The initiative received positive feedback with several people calling it a great or excellent idea. There was some community pooling suggestions where some suggested creating a system where less frequently used tools or equipment could be jointly bought and owned for communal use. And there was offers to contribute items, so individuals expressed willingness to donate or lend items like power tools, wheelchairs, and suggested potential partnerships such as with the Inverness Tool Library, especially for pooling and gardening tools. Management and maintenance concerns came up, and they were raised about how items would be looked after, what happens if they got damaged or lost, and how borrowing durations were managed. The resources were pooled, such as the Sharing Library Setup Guide, because that was an excellent resource to help answer those questions and provide examples to help work around barriers identified. MyTurn also provided an excellent resources and a demonstration trial version to explain how the lending library software worked and support the library volunteers. We then went on to hold our second meeting with Inverness Tool Library, with the people who were going to manage the areas and also to gain learning from local successful sharing library and the people who are running one on the ground. It enabled folk to see a lending library in action, ask questions of the volunteers about the systems such as MyTurn and the day-to-day processes. So we're not reinventing the wheel in any way, shape or form. So there comes the next steps. So since then, we've got 3 sites joining the Black Isle Library of Things. This includes 2 bike projects, one at Hillock Head Black Isle Yurt site and the other at Bortrose Leisure Centre for bicycles and e-bike hire. We're in the middle of formalising partnership agreements with High Life Highland and High Life Council for our Fortrose site. And we've got a 3rd site potentially being in Rosemarkie for Transition Black Isle's assets and other community assets donated, so that we can provide a space for others to add items and provide a working library to inspire others to join. Once people see it go on working on the ground, we know more people will start to join because there was so much interest in the initial idea. We're also working really closely with Inverness Tool Library, and that's enabled us to set up some bespoke training for the Library of Things volunteers They're going to provide one-to-one sessions and telephone support to help use My Turn in the initial stages of the area's setting up. Some of the feedback, as you can see on the slide there, someone said it's a bloody great idea. Maybe we should have a system where folks who want to use something less often, like a log splitter, can band together and jointly buy it for communal use. Other people were saying they would be happy to flag up that they had a wheelchair that was accessible to be borrowed, and they may well have more equipment. So items in our Black Isle Library of Things includes gazebos, hanging rails, and apple press, display boards, projectors, stands and screens, a trailer, fruit dryers, but we've also got a mug library that we've been collecting over the past 2 years so that we can donate them out to events and community groups. We've also got party kits as well. So we were really inspired by Oksana's party kit library of things, and also following the strand of the reducing single-use packaging. So now I'm just going to hand over to Amy from Broadford and Strath Community Company, and she's going to tell us a bit more about her green shed. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. What's happened to the slide there?
Moving.
Don't know.
It's moving on our side, Amy.
All right. Nothing's happening on my side now. Okay. Okay. So here at Broadford and Strath Community Company, we've been doing a lot of work with the share and repair theme. So we also have a party kit called a Kaylee kit, which we've just got up and running. We did lots of sewing, upcycling workshops, and some swap events as well. But I'm here to talk about our green shed. This was set up with funding from Circular Community Scotland Tourism Fund, as well as the Highland Community Waste Partnership funding. And the green shed has been sited at our local community-owned campsite, with the idea that the campers will be able to borrow items instead of bringing them with them. So it's a sharing library. It's been community driven, with the initiative designed to promote the sustainable practices and resource sharing among the campers. So we're trying to educate people as well as offer them a service at the same time. We're encouraging them to borrow items instead of buying them, reducing the environmental impact associated with all of the kit and things that's required to go camping. So if you can borrow it for your holiday, then that saves you a lot of money, and it saves on resources as well. So what's available? We have tent repair kits, binoculars, lots of books, toys and games as well. We also had reusable containers. So we have pizza boxes and steel kind of lunch boxes as well. And we worked in partnership with the local pizza cafe and the local refill stores to offer the campers a discount if they used these items and they went into the village to buy their pizza. They would get a discount if they used the reusable containers. Okay. It was quite a simple system. All the campers would, if they wanted to participate, it was £5 and they could borrow as much of these items as they wanted. Right, the slide. And so the benefits for them is that they've hopefully were saving themselves some money by borrowing these items. And then the added bonus that they were maybe items there that they hadn't thought of. We did have reusable barbecues as well, so they could just borrow a small camping kind of barbecue. So there was maybe additional things as well as the toys and the games and the repair stuff that improved their stay at the campsite as well. We also had the local community donate items. So we kind of hopefully empowered the community to be part of the project as well, where they could see their items being used again and again within the green shed. The learning was that it was actually quite difficult in the end because of the very fast-paced tourism here on Skye, with campers only staying an average of 1.3 nights. They weren't here long enough to benefit from all of the items in the shed. So they're just here for a matter of hours, really, and then they're away again. And also, they didn't necessarily know that it was available. So if this kind of system and project is to really work, then it needs to be replicated certainly across Skye, so that people know that when they come here, they don't have to bring certain items, because all of those campsites they're visiting will lend those things. And more nationally, it needs to be more of a national system where you're going away or you're going somewhere, there are libraries where you can borrow things. So we definitely need to work on how to make a broader network for these types of things. Going forward this year, we have integrated a bike repair just to help with the sustainability of it for the campsite. So they felt that they needed to add a bit more to the green shed. So they've had some training and they've got some new tools so that they will be able to offer the campers with bikes some repair services at the green shed as well this year. So that's a greater impact that it's going to have going forward. And that's it. I shall pass you on back to Laura.
Hi, thank you, Amy, and bear with me while I gain control of the slides again. Hi, so Laura again from Transition Black Isle. I'm here now to talk to you about the Black Isle Repair Café. So I'll just start by providing an overview of the Repair Café, its purpose in partnership with the Highland Community Waste Partnership. So the Black Isle Repair Café, I believe, is a true example of a community-led initiative. The idea was formed from a few passionate local residents who were committed to tackling the climate crisis through taking local practical action. Their mission and goals were to extend the life of everyday items, reduce waste and share repairing skills with other in the communities, to promote sustainable living and to revive those forgotten skills. The founding members approached local organisations who shared their passion and were able to provide skills to make the Repair Café work. Conversations were opened and a partnership was formed with the Black Isle Men's Shed, Transition Black Isle and the Highland Community Waste Partnership. Black Isle Men's Shed provided the repair expertise and tools. Members also brought their other specialist skills such as data collection and analysis. Transition Black Isle offered organisational support, including insurance for the activities and a bank account for donations. And at the time, Transition Black Isle just joined the Highland Community Waste Partnership, and with their focus on the share and repair activities, project officers were able to support their wider community engagement, support them at repair cafes, and also with the planning of larger community events. This involved organisational and learning support, developing promotional materials, spreading the word through digital and traditional methods, and collaborating with other Black Isle community-based organisations, also learning from other repair initiatives and supporting new ones to form. We gained learning from others right from the beginning. The group were inspired by the Cairngorm Boat of Garden Repair Café and visited them to learn from them to help shape the Repair Café's development. No need to reinvent the wheel here. And what they found gave them a head start, especially around event management and paperwork processes. This provided a basis for their early success, and the first Repair Café was launched as part of the Climate Festival in June 2022, setting the stage for its ongoing success. Following advice, I've got a lovely quote from the Black Isle Repair Café steering group member just around that period. And she said, following advice from the Boat of Garden Repair Café and with the support of the Highland Community Waste Partner Project Officer, an initial Repair Café was set up as part of the Climate Festival in June 22. This got us off to an absolutely wonderful start. To support the development, Black Owl Repair Café joined the Circular Community Scotland Share and Repair Network, which provided a support network and learning exchange with other repair café initiatives Scotland-wide. To ensure the repair café reached more people across rural villages across the Black Isle, we decided to use a roaming model, holding repair cafés monthly in small villages and towns. This not only extended reach to help reach more vulnerable and isolated residents, it cut back the need for car use and extended travel, lowering the environmental impact of the initiative. The partnership, community collaboration and volunteers, and how volunteers and partner organisations contribute. So the Black Owl Repair Café Steering Group was formed, which provided a leadership team directing the initiative going forward. The steering group provides strategic direction and oversight, ensuring the café's long-term sustainability. It includes founding members and volunteers alongside representatives from Transition Black Isle, the Black Isle Men's Shed and the Highland Community Waste Partnership. The group coordinates volunteer efforts, fosters partnerships, plans future events, and recently they've been exploring funding avenues to ensure the Repair Café thrives going forward. Volunteers contribute a diverse set of skills, with 50 active volunteers providing essential skills in repairing, administration, customer service and event organisation. The commitment of our volunteers is absolutely astounding. They have contributed over 2,700 hours since the Black Owl Repair Café's launch, and that includes time running monthly repair cafés and attending steering group meetings. But it doesn't involve the follow-up work that the steering group and other volunteers carry out, which is absolutely vast. The essential roles within the Repair Café include welcoming customers, maintaining data collection processes, managing donations and supporting the café operations. To build a strong volunteer network, we hold quarterly volunteer meetings and social events, and they foster a sense of community among the volunteers. At these meetings, we also celebrate achievements and shape future plans. Volunteer recognition and engagement have been key to the café's success, helping retain and recruit new volunteers to the initiative. Highland Community Waste Partnership project officers supported wider community engagement and events by helping organise the annual birthday celebrations, which were held yearly. Those large-scale events held in Och celebrated the successes of the Black Owl Repair Café, but brought together volunteers in other community groups and local organisations, widening the reach of the repairing to organisations that otherwise might not be get involved with such activities. We also joined in with the Highland Climate Festival, holding larger events at the Black Isle Leisure Centre and Theatre. This raised awareness of other Highland Community Waste Partnership waste reduction strands to promote more sustainable living, including packaging waste reduction, food waste and composting workshops, and to showcase the Black Owl Repair Café skills and foster a sense of community. This allowed Repair Café to collaborate with other community groups such as the Highland Good Food Partnership, Portros Guides, Unicycle, Alpkit, other youth groups in the area, the local library, local businesses and schools, helping to expand the café's reach and its impact. Let's go into a little bit more about the achievements and the impact made. Key impact data includes repairs, customers' experiences, and since inception, the Black Owl Repair Café have held 23 roaming repair cafes. 744 customers have booked in repairs. That's just those who completed a check-in out form. Most people come along with friends and family, so it's estimated we've seen over 1,200 visitors who have attended. I've handled 983 items, providing hands-on learning, repair advice, and how to responsibly recycle items were not able to be repaired, or would signpost to a specialist repairer. 734 of those items were fully repaired. A further 44 of those items were repaired, but they were retained to be fixed at the men's shed, at the repairer's home, or for a part that was needed to be sourced and be fixed at a future repair café. Unfortunately, 163 items were not repairable by the café, but we were always signposting people to specialist repairers or provide advice as to where they can get that repaired or do the repair themselves. 42 items were deemed beyond repair, but this actually gave the customer a sense of permission to be able to dispose the item by recycling them responsibly. What we find is each repair cafe attracts approximately a third of new visitors. And again, just to reiterate, our volunteers are contributing over 2,700 hours. Our customer experience statistics that we gain from our responses, we get about 877 responses to our customer experience questionnaire. The overall experience was great, and 823 visitors reported that it was great. 50 said it was okay, and we had 4 saying it was not so great. But when you delve a little bit deeper into that, those people that said it wasn't so great, their item wasn't able to be repaired at the time. So we think that's maybe what skewed the data slightly. We're building people's confidence in doing repairs of their own, and 188 visitors felt more confident in handling their own repair after attending. In future repairs, 549 visitors indicated they would bring more items for future repairs. 56 visitors said they would like to volunteer at the repair cafe, and 190 visitors said that they wanted more repair and mending workshops run by the Highland Community Waste Partnership and Transition Black Isle. What our customers said: it's a fabulous idea, learnt a lot and really happy to have saved something from landfill. Thanks for the explanations too. It's a superb and professional quality of work, great atmosphere and a purposeful group for a more sustainable future. We're really happy with my first experience of a repair cafe. And someone who came along to one of our wider and larger events said, between 2 of your repairers, an outdoor jacket looks as good as new. I had sewing from the sewing team and heat tape from Alp Kit. So, forward. So our plans for future goals and our sustainability. So what are the Player Cafe's plans for that? So we operate on a donation-based model, which ensures minimal funding for core running costs, covering hall hire, materials and volunteer expenses. Donation contributions I can't get that out, help sustain day-to-day operations. So we created a new part-time volunteer coordinator post, which started in March and is funded for a year, ensuring the support Highland Community Waste Partner project officers provided is continued, and supporting the steering group and volunteers, ensuring long-term sustainability beyond the Highland Community Waste Partnership project. The small working group made up of volunteers have come together to secure grants for expansion. The Black Isle Repair Cafe needs more sustainable, suitable storage solutions, and ideally would like to purchase a dedicated repair van for equipment storage, making it easier to transport and making the Roman Repair Cafe more efficient. We've developed a strong community partnership, which is in place with long-lasting partnerships with Transition Black Isle and the Black Isle Men's Shed, ensuring continued support for governance, practical expertise and engagement. We're also memberships with repair networks. The power of membership shows so well through the work that we've done with Circular Community Scotland's Sharing Repair Network. Accessing their resources and knowledge sharing opportunities, being a member of the network has empowered Black Isle Repair Cafe to amplify its impact through sharing resources and best practices and holding valuable learning exchanges with other repair initiatives. This collaborative support has helped the cafe streamline efforts and inspire our communities across Scotland, connecting the cafe to national platforms and ensuring its work was celebrated. We've hosted learning exchanges with Planet Sutherland and Remake Argyll, and we've been featured in national reports, also speaking at the Circular Community Scotland conference. So the Black Isle Repair Cafe has showcased its innovative approach to addressing rural community needs and highlighted the power of collective action. We're also part of the Highland Repair Cafe network, working collaboratively with other repair cafes and initiatives across the region, which I'll speak about later in the webinar. The creation of the Highland Repair Directory has provided repair cafe volunteers with an excellent resource to enable them to signpost customers to repair services beyond the cafe's scope. This also supports local repair businesses and encourages the development and use of the resource as it develops. Katrina from Lochbroom and Ullapool Community Trust led this initiative, and we'll be speaking about it in more detail later in the presentation. So I think the Black Isles Repair Café has demonstrated remarkable success as a community-driven initiative, showcasing the power of partnership working, collaboration, skill sharing and sustainability. The dedication of its volunteers has been the cornerstone of its achievements, with the skills, creativity and generosity of its volunteers driving the initiative forward. Through its innovative roaming model, the Black Isle Repair Café has reached remote rural communities on the Black Isle, making repair accessible to those who need the most and providing a valuable social benefit to those living in rural communities. By fostering a culture of repair and reuse, the Black Isle Repair Café has actively contributed to reducing waste, supporting behaviour change and promoting circular economy practices across the Highland. Now, what I'll do is hand over to Leslie from Lochaber Environmental Group to tell us more about the Fort William Repair Café.
Great, thank you so much, Laura. Yes, the Fort William Repair Café. Leslie Hawkins here from Lochaber Environmental Group. It's lovely to see you all on screen and to know that you're interested in all the work that's been done across the partnership. So a little bit of background, obviously Lochaber Environmental Group, I'll probably say Lairg from now on, that's just a bit of a mouthful on there, but Lairg have been participating in a number of share and repair initiatives. We've run a number of repair workshops that Georgina referred to earlier on. We've attended different events. Some of the work that we're doing, and I'm going to talk about the Repair Café in a minute, that complements Lairg's existing bike refurbishment project and bike tool library, which now is extended to include other non-bicycle related equipment, thanks to the Waste Partnership. However, we're here to talk to you today about the Fort William Repair Café. So just one slide from me on this, but actually the Fort William Repair Café is similar to the Black Isle Café, that we got fantastic support through a community learning exchange for us to visit the Cairngorm Repair Café early on and get inspiration and information. Community learning exchanges are supported by the Scottish Community Alliance, so we were grateful for them for that opportunity to go out and see the Cairngorm Repair Café. We similarly got additional support through Circular Community Scotland and the Share and Repair Network, especially for the paperwork, the planning and the risk assessment requirements for the Repair Café. And very recently, we were lucky to be able to attend their Share and Repair gathering in Stirling, and they put on a session in the afternoon by Stitch the Gap for sewing machine, to help train sewing machine volunteers. And I was very lucky to be able to take Jo, one of our volunteers, with me, and she was able to attend that workshop, and that's helped her with her sewing machine repair skills, and she's been able to improve those. And in fact, from our Repair Café just on Saturday, one of the feedback, she repaired some sewing machines this weekend. One of the feedback was, Jo did an amazing repair job for my sewing machine. She was very thorough and patient. Thank you so much. So that's some support that we got just a couple of weeks ago that's already been put into practice, which is really fantastic. The Fort William Repair Café is a partnership between Lairg, the Workshop Studios and New Connections, who are both part of Lochaber Hope, and the Fort William Men's Shed as well. Absolutely fantastic there. And then the other thing is we have a number of, I just call them pure magic volunteers. They come along and they help us at our events. The photos on the screen and the one previously are all from the Repair Café last Saturday, because I always forget to take photos. So because I knew this was coming up, it reminded me to take photos. So the top one there is me with a selfie with a number of our fantastic volunteers behind me. And then the bottom one is some of our volunteers from the Men's Shed and other volunteers. And I am just going to go back to slide 1 a minute, because for the very first time last Saturday, we repaired a dinosaur suit. We have in the past repaired a couple of they have little, I'll call them little blowers that keep the suits blown up. But this Saturday they came and they said, our zip's broken and my dinosaur no longer stays blown up. So one of our fantastic textile repairers fixed that, and then they very kindly posed by one of our repair banners, and they have promised me they're going to send us a little tiny video coming back to support the work that's being done by the Repair Café. So both fun and enjoyable, but actually they go out and they do a lot of work in the local community, and I know the children of the local community really love it when the dinosaurs visit. So supporting wider community work there. Other things that we fixed just on Saturday, we had a number of textile items. We did some digital scales, 3 sewing machines, 2 clocks, some fairy lights, lamps, and yes, the dinosaurs, amongst other things. One of the things we found though is attendance does take time to build. We have been running since October 2023, but we only run a repair cafe maybe every 6 to 8 weeks. We don't do them across the summer holidays and the Easter holiday periods because we found, A, we got some feedback from the Cairngorms, and B, we found out ourselves that when people are away on holidays, they're maybe not thinking about repair cafes and what's going on locally. So we've held 8 cafes, so not the same number that TBI have done, and it is taking us time to get people to be aware of that. We have quite a lot of return visitors, and probably about 25% of new visitors at each cafe. So we are accepting that it's taking us time. We are looking at ways of being able to increase knowledge of the repair cafe, and using things like radio, obviously social media, etc. But it is taking time to build that. I think the one thing that's really important for me to say on that is the repair cafes are just a joy though. You know, it's absolutely fantastic to see members of the community come in, sit with other members of the community who so willingly share their knowledge, and they fix things that mean a lot to people. You know, sometimes things don't mean a lot, they just are a thing that they'll come in and use, but very often we get things that mean a lot to people. And the fact that they go away knowing how that's been repaired, maybe taking part in that repair, but just having that item back for them to use, it's a joy. So that's my sort of input for this, and I am going to hand over to Laura again, who's going to talk about the network, the local network.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Leslie. So yes, I'm just introducing the Highland Repair Café network today, and a bit of its background and future steps. So the idea to form a Highland Repair Café network was born from a conversation the Black Owl Repairing Café Steering Group meeting had, where members raised the idea of forming a Highland-wide network to share learning with existing repair initiatives, to support new ones to form, and to share resources and skills across the Highlands and within the local areas. To build on this idea, representatives from various organisations, including the Highland Community Waste Partnership, Highlands and Islands Climate Hub and Circular Community Scotland, Share and Repair Network, and several Highland-based repair initiatives joined for an initial meeting which took place on the 24th of September 24. That was held in Nairn, and it was hosted by Circular Community Scotland, their Share and Repair Network meeting. The repair initiatives that were in attendance included representatives from Black Owl Repair Café, from Fort William Repair Café, Les was there, and also Inverness Tool Library. So during this initial meeting, and through feedback from other repair cafes across the Highlands, the goals and objectives of the Highland Repair Café network were identified. We would like to provide a platform to support both current and potential Highland repair cafes, to facilitate the sharing of learning and information amongst Highland-based repair initiatives, to support Highland communities in starting their own repair cafes, to serve as an information point for repair cafe volunteers and organisers, and a way to promote skill sharing and provide support across the Highland region. Since the initial meeting, over 25 individuals representing repair cafes and supporting organisations, including the Men's Shed Network, have engaged with the discussion and contributed to shaping the future of the Highland Repair Café network. The aim for this collaboration is to foster more initiatives at their inception and provide a platform for sharing ideas, sharing local events with each other and key information, and providing support to each other. The network's in its infancy at the moment, and we're currently holding conversations with other organisations involved to seek support to continue the Repair Café network after the Highland Community Waste project ends. So that was short and sweet. I'd just like to hand over to Katrina from Lochbroom Ullapool Community Trust to tell us more about the Highland Repair Directory. Thanks.
Thanks, Laura. So I will just give you a bit of an introduction to the Highland Repair Directory. The Repair Directory is a free interactive map connecting residents with local repair services, and the aim is to promote repair and to reduce waste across the Highlands. So this was a collaborative project between multiple Highland Community Waste Partnership partners, and it was launched as part of the Highlands and Islands Climate Hub Climate Festival in September last year. So the sort of idea for it came about because Lochbroom Ullapool Community Trust, we have a second-hand shop in Ullapool, and we often receive donations of items that just need a really small repair in order to be usable again and to keep them out of landfill. So, for example, often we'll get a jacket that's got a broken zip. We also get a lot of inquiries in the shop about local repair services, particularly for things like bikes, washing machines and clothing alterations as well. So all these requests highlighted the need for a comprehensive directory where people in the community could easily find local repairers, and it was all in the one place. So we compiled a directory of these repair services across the Highlands, and we included businesses, independent repairers, so individuals who maybe just do it as a hobby, and also community repair cafes like the ones Laura and Leslie have spoken about. And this is, you can see on the slide here, this is a copy of the map. It is at the moment interactive Google map. We did, when we were setting it up, look into lots of different options, and we ended up deciding to go with a Google map just for ease of use. And it's interactive. People can click on the different symbols and find out what's nearby them. The map currently has about 100 repairers listed, so it's definitely not comprehensive at the moment. It's got a good selection of businesses and individuals on there, but there's definitely room for more. And they're all split into 8 categories, so it covers things like bikes, clothing, furniture, and we've got a miscellaneous category as well. So most things that you'd think that you might want to get repaired are featured on there. Although the partnership is coming to an end at the end of the month, we have been speaking to the Highlands and Islands Climate Hub, and we're very fortunate that they've agreed to take on the map for us. So it's going to be featured on their website going forward, and they're going to help do some promotion and also sort of maintain it, keep it up to date, because that's always a worry with a resource like this, is that if no one's maintaining it, with businesses sort of opening and shutting all the time, how do we keep it up to date and a useful resource for people locally. So as well as members of the public using it, we have also found that it's quite a useful resource for repair cafes. So if people are taking items there, people and the repair cafe, the volunteers aren't able to fix the item, they can then go onto the map and refer people to a local service locally. And it also means that we're helping to support local businesses, because I think in some areas often there can be a bit of conflict between repair businesses and repair cafes, because they're worried that we're going to take the business away from them by setting up repair cafes. So it's quite nice to be able to work alongside these local businesses as well. And yeah, I'll pass you back over to Georgina.
Fab. Thanks, team. It's really, really wonderful to see all of this work come together and to see sort of an overview of everything that we've been working on. I think, yeah, hopefully the passion of the team comes through, and yeah, just showing sort of what's possible and a lot of exciting prospects as well. So I want to give a big thank you to the team for all the work that you've done and also for your presentations today. And now we've got about half an hour left that we reserved for sort of questions and answers. So I see maybe some folk maybe have started dropping things into the chat, but yeah, you can pop questions in the chat, or please do raise your hand and speak up as well. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments for any of the team, please please let us know. And also, if there's anything we don't manage to cover today, you can get in touch at the email address on the screen. And you can also visit our website for more information. Okay, we've got a couple of hands. I've got Miriam first. Hi, Miriam. Nice to see you.
You too, and thanks for that.
Hello.
That was really inspiring, really, really good. I had a question for the Ullapool group, the ReLove clothing fair that looked absolutely brilliant. I love the way that was run. I think you guys said you've got a shop in Ullapool, but I just wondered if there's any other charity shops, and if so, how they feel about it, or if you're in the position where you don't have any competition.
We don't have any competition apart from our own charity shop. The next closest charity shop would be Dingwall, and then Inverness. So we have found that I'm sure in some areas it may be an issue, but we found that actually the items that people are willing to donate to the charity shop are slightly different to what they will bring along and sell at the clothing fair.
Mm-hmm.
So the charity shop haven't found that their donations, the number of donations they're receiving, has reduced at all. And what we do often do is we pass on, when people fill out the form, we ask if they would like to tick a box if they want their items to be donated if they don't sell. So some people are quite happy once they've sort of done a clear out, they've got the items out the house, they're like, if they don't sell, you know what, just give them to charity. So actually the charity shop possibly ends up getting some higher quality donations off the back of that, just because people just want to get rid of them. So yeah, we haven't found it to be an issue, but maybe in an area where there were multiple charity shops, it might cause a bit of conflict.
Okay, thanks. That's interesting.
Super. Thanks, Katrina. I've got Emily next.
Hello. Yes, thank you. That was brilliant, really inspiring. I'm up in Uist, and I had a couple of things. Katrina, again, for you, sorry, to ask you more stuff. Linked with what Miriam was saying, we've got a huge issue with backlog for our charity shops here on Uist. We've got 3 secondhand places, but they're just getting inundated. So we're looking at setting up something similar to what you've done. And I was wondering whether you would be willing to share a little bit more about the logistics when it comes to the form that you ask sellers to fill in. And also I was curious about the labels. Have you had to set up a separate bank account to then pay into that, and then you pay it out to the sellers? Like, the logistics of that would be really interested to maybe chat separately about at another time. Because it's definitely something that we're keen to do up here.
Yeah, definitely. We're hoping to put together a how-to guide with a bit more information, just for other groups that are wanting to replicate the model. But I'd also be happy to have a chat with you as well and go over some of the details.
That would be amazing. Thanks. I'll be in touch. I was also, sorry, while I'm here, oh, my computer's gone funny. So sorry, I can't remember the lady that was talking about the green shed. I was wondering about whether you had to do a lot of research as to the actual layout of the shed and whether it had to have a specific type that kept things dry and things, because obviously being where you are, did you have to like insulate your shed or whatever to keep everything of a decent quality to be able to be rented out?
Yes, that's me here in Broadford. We just had a standard garden shed.
Okay.
It was operating because the campsite is only open kind of Easter to October holidays. So it was only operating during that time anyway. Everything's kind of been stored over winter this winter. It's all been fine. As I said, the bike repair kind of is taking a precedent in there. So some of the items have been rehomed to make way for the bike repair. So we've had a fairly empty shed, I suppose, for the winter. But in terms of how it was laid out, it was pretty basic. You saw the photo, just some very basic racking with the items in there. I suppose maybe we had big signs all over the outside of the shed to encourage the campsite users to come and investigate, pots of flowers outside. We had staff members there twice a day to kind of encourage people and to talk to people. So it looked pretty good from the outside, but yeah, it was fairly basic on the inside.
Thank you. Yeah, I think what you were talking about creating a network, again, I think we'd be really keen to chat about that on this side of the water as well.
Yeah, I think that's key for especially for people kind of travelling all across the islands, is to know where they can go and get these items repeatedly and not just happen upon something that they think is great and then never find it again.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, I love that idea, Amy. I don't think I'd heard that, but that's really exciting. That's really cool. I think we've got Anna next.
Hi there, Anna from Planet Sutherland. Thanks for all this amazing inspiration. And apologies if somebody already said, but with respect to the repair network, and the repair network forum, what's the future of that? Is that going to somehow manage to continue with maybe even like just a quarterly Zoom chat or something? Because there's so many different elements to this, and obviously it's going to, which are fantastic to build on, basic repair cafes. Called them basic repair cafes, that's sad. Fantastically exciting repair cafes. There's so many elements to build on from that, like the clothing sales and specialist kids repair cafes and so on and so forth. And I'm sure we've got so much information to share with each other on an ongoing basis. And I feel this is just the start of this particular thing. It would be amazing if we could manage to keep it going somehow.
Hi Anna. Yes, I'm in conversations at the moment with the Highlands and Islands Climate Hub and also the Sharing Repair Network. Also the Men's Shed Network is part of that group too. So there's 3 strong supporting bodies that are looking to be part of it and take that forward after our project ends. So just watch this space.
Brilliant, thank you.
Super. And yeah, we'll do our best to signpost any kind of ongoing work like that and future opportunities on the Legacy website as well. So watch that space as well. Cool. Do we have any other questions for the team? Any final thoughts? Okay, great. Well, like I said, if you do think of anything, feel free to get in touch at highlandcommunitywaste@keepscotlandbeautiful.com. And we'll point you in the right direction. Keep an eye out for the Legacy reports and resources and signposts that will appear on the Legacy website by the summer of 2025. These webinars are recorded, so these will also be available through that website as well. And if there's no further questions, I think we can draw this webinar to a close. Thanks very much to everyone who came along. It looks like we got, really good attendance today. So I hope, you found some new ideas and inspiration. And I think it's a really exciting space, actually. And I think, like I said before, it sort of shows what's possible, and that you can have a really, really big impact in terms of, waste reduction, and also just providing people, with a way to connect with their community and save some money as well. So, big round of applause to the team. Thank you from me. Have a great afternoon, and maybe see you tomorrow. Thanks.
Bye.